A very good morning to you from wherever you are and wherever you might be watching us. It's a day to be excited. We're grateful for life and for a new day.
It's a fantastic way to start the day. Of course, it's going to be an amazing Wednesday. It's the 4th of March. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our special Wednesday edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, what a great way to start your day. We have an interesting show for you. And my name is Imo APC.
And I'm Titilayo Ohinson. We have some advice for you. Stay with us all the way till 9 a.m.
Yeah, just at the corner of your screen earlier, you saw her. She's in the kitchen. She's smiling.
Yeah.
And she's happy today.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm fine. Just that I don't want you using my cup.
Well, you don't want who uses
I don't want
whose cup?
Yomi using my cup.
Yomi should not use your cup.
No, you shouldn't use my cup.
Yomi uses everybody's cup in
Don't
this.
use my cup.
Like he's used everyone's cup once.
Like everybody wants me to touch their cup because of the blessings
No.
and the spirit
I
that
don't
I
want
transfer.
to use my cup.
Wow.
I'm going to write my name on my cup so you don't touch it.
Wow. Okay. You know what? We're
All right,
gonna get some coffee.
I'm just gonna buy mugs for everybody in this building.
And print the names on it, Abby. But if you want to find out what's going on in the show, just stream live at tvcentertainment.tv and Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also send in some comments.
Yes, indeed. Across all our social media platforms, just use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
We have an app available for you to download. Just visit iOS or visit Android store. Download this app and watch us from your mobile devices. It's as easy as that.
Yeah, so we're going to be kicking things off this
Our
morning.
very first musical act this morning, we have singer, songwriter OJ Breaks.
Now, did you know that your home styling choice can promote good health? Now, Faith Olajumoke is going to be talking to us this morning. And she's of 10 Applause Interiors. And we'll be talking about decluttering your home. Do you have a litter bug around?
Then also coming up, we have another musical performance. Fast rising singer D Baz will be here.
On nutrition, Omotola Ajijola will be joining us this morning to talk about gut health, which refers to the balance of microorganisms that live in your digestive tract.
How healthy are you inside?
On relationships, certified family life coach Oluwatobi will be here to discuss empathy, a key ingredient for marriage bliss.
And finally, we have versatile television presenter and actress Stephanie Coker joining us for a chat.
For pure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so over the weekend into Monday, I've had some people who have been trying to do a social media intervention for me.
Oh.
So as I say, I'm social media shy, that I don't post videos or pictures. And so
I think you're already in high demand just being on the show. There's some people that are a lot more private than others. They just don't really feel like putting things out there. We get it. But this is for us. We have to glean from this stardom of yours.
Okay, so
tag us in some of your shots so we can repost
Talking
them.
about Yomi.
Yes, I'm just talking about you. You don't know how many. Do you remember when we used to start tweeting back then in the beginning of the show, where people would be like, "We want Yomi to be our daddy."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that
Like
was
their sugar daddy.
no,
Like their
no,
daddy.
like real
they
daddy.
didn't. Yeah.
Wow. Why would I want your
Anyways, so social media intervention, and so I have to start doing something on social media. I'm not sure what it is yet, but yeah.
Okay, there's this trending thing. Some of the PR team were talking about yesterday. Maybe we should try that.
See,
you remember?
I will bet all the money I will make in this life.
Wow.
Yomi is not going to jump on it.
You'd be surprised.
What's that?
So it's
There's the flip thing?
the flip thing.
Yeah.
So it's like we're doing a video, and let's say I'm dancing like this, and then you're holding the phone.
Yeah.
to the
While
video.
you're dancing.
And you're probably just being cool.
Yeah.
And so now flip the switch. So you flip the switch. By the time you turn it back on, you're going to be dressed in my outfit.
I'm going to be dressed in yours.
And then you'll be doing whatever dance it is I was doing.
So
that's the best
who
way
would
to
like to
come
see
back.
Yomi try the
I'm sure you guys are talking about like Mike Mexicano.
No,
And, yeah.
Mike is a serious person.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't say that to mean unserious. I just
No,
mean, you know.
it's not unserious. You could
see?
be wearing a
That's
suit.
the perfect
I
way
could
to
wear
come back.
I could wear a
come into the
bishop's
social
robe if
media.
you like.
There's no convincing me to.
Did you see what I said? I said
Yeah.
I'll bet all the money I will make in this
Well,
life.
we had to try. Well, you did the coupe
Yeah.
dance now. Didn't you do the coupe
No, I
dance when you
didn't.
trended? You didn't?
No,
You
I didn't.
did. You did it in the
Someone
studio.
wanted to cut us with arcade.
Yeah, so I'll probably put up a scripture
Wow.
to start with. You know, just to.
Yeah, you're
So
probably gonna
follow
have like
at
2
Yomi
likes.
Okwe1, right? And see what he's going to be posting. We're also online as well.
Yeah, so
we're gonna be
I'll have to
tagging.
work some videos and some posts that show they said show your fun side, and then they said don't always post scriptures, but yeah.
Think about it.
What
yeah.
if scriptures is
Do you
your fun
think-
side?
Do you feel like, don't you feel like there's so much, not like I'm shading Christianity or anything, but don't you think that there's so much more to life than just being scriptural about everything? Like social media is for social stuff.
Yeah.
Like we all know about God and we all have our spiritual lives intact, and those that don't are finding their way.
A
Yeah.
lot of people have circulated their social life around, different circles in the church. Women's ministry, family life, things like that. There's so many activities churches are coming up with. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
So-
feel like personally,
For social media,
for
it should
social
be,
media,
It should be more of you.
Exactly, should be
getting
more
to-
of you. The people that have the work of God as their occupation, let them do it.
Okay.
Be you.
How do you know that the work of God is not my occupation? Like
Ha!
from the moment I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So please, hashtag Yomi social
Hashtag,
media.
tell us what you want
intervention.
Yomi to do on social media.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Well, what do you want me to do?
I want Yomi
Nothing
to
crazy.
do the flip switch.
Yeah.
Not flip shit. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing ridiculous.
Well, we'll have
Just,
to do a breaking news whenever it actually happens, Sha. Ibrahim can always help us with that. He's going to be taking the news updates right now.
Well, thank you, Titi. Welcome to the news. Public health officials are operating in uncharted territory as they combat the spread of the novel coronavirus. This is the verdict of the head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus. The virus, which began in Wuhan, China, has spread to over 73 countries, killing more than 30,000 people from 92,000 confirmed cases. 48,000, which is more than 50% of the affected, have been treated and discharged. While the numbers continue to rise globally, China, the epicenter of the dreaded virus, reported 125 new cases, which is its lowest number since January. 23 members of the Iranian parliament have been infected in the deadliest outbreak of the virus outside China. The country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, on Tuesday ordered the country's armed forces to assist health officials in combating the outbreak. Whatever helps public health and prevent the spread of the disease is good, and what helps to spread it is seen. Khomeini was quoted as saying, as a deputy health minister, Ali Reza Raisi reported more infections and a death toll of 77. India has confirmed a new coronavirus case who is an Italian national tested positive for coronavirus in the western Indian state of Rajasthan. This brings the total confirmed cases to 6. France Minister of Education says about 120 schools have been closed in areas that have reported the largest numbers of coronavirus infections, and more could be closed in the coming days. Officials have reported 191 coronavirus cases in France and 4 deaths. The United Kingdom now has 51 confirmed cases. The number rose by 12, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson had said that possibility of further transmission is clearly on the cards. In Africa, a new case was reported in Morocco, bringing the number of countries with at least one case to 5. The single confirmed case in Nigeria is said to be in clinically stable condition and is responding to treatment. As part of efforts to check the spread of the coronavirus, the Ministry of Health in Osun State, led by Deputy Chief of Staff to the Governor, Binuyo Adeyanju, on Tuesday, visited residences and mining sites of Chinese nationals in Ife and Osu. The essence of the visit was to check their health status and travel history. The team confirmed that none of the Chinese nationals traveled outside or come into the state in the last week.
Oshun, we have put together a very good response team. We have the isolation centers, we have the holding centers, just in case we have such recorded. But so far today, we have not recorded any such. We will continue tomorrow again to check all the mining sites, to check all the homes of the Chinese to ensure that we apply the same checks on them to be sure that there are no cases to be escalated.
When we got there, we requested for their passport and all that, and I'm happy to tell people of the state of Osun that none of those Chinese miners, none of them traveled to China recently. At least in the last 8 weeks, none of them traveled, and nobody visited them based on their on the records of their passport.
I want to advise our people to take their health very seriously, to make sure that they wash their hands with soap and water regularly, and those people who cannot have access to water, so use sanitizer. And those traveling in commuter buses should have face or nose mask on their faces.
And Supreme Court held its ground that it will not sit in appeal over its own judgments when it dismissed an application by the PDP and its candidate in the Imo State governorship election, seeking a review of a judgment earlier given by the Apex Court. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress has welcomed the decision, which reaffirmed Hope Uzodinma as the governor of Imo State. Adams Oshiomhole is still not pleased with the decision of the Apex Court on the Bayelsa governorship election, but accepts this fate and respects the judgment as final.
I think what the Supreme Court has done today for me is just to reaffirm that they are the supreme. They are supreme, and whatever they did last time was on the basis of what was before them. They did not make mistake. There are no gaps. There are no ambiguity, and therefore there was no basis to reapproach them to sit on appeal in their own judgment. And I think they are just being consistent with the position they took in previous cases.
And the National Industrial Court sitting in Enugu has issued an interim injunction restraining the members of the Association of Resident Doctors in Enugu State University Teaching Hospital from continuing with the industrial action already embarked upon. The interim injunction was issued by Justice Aruwo Shegbe upon the motion ex parte filed by the state government on March 2, 2020. Justice Aruwo Shegbe ordered the resident doctors to forthwith stop the strike already commenced and immediately stop any action in furtherance of the strike or any strike till the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. The case has been adjourned to March 17 for hearing of the substantive motion. And at least 22 persons have been killed, 40 buildings destroyed, and thousands of people are without power after tornado struck the U.S. city of Nashville. The Emergency Operations Center has already opened an emergency shelter with running water in a farmer's market to help displaced residents. Nashville is the capital of Tennessee, one of 14 states that will vote that are voting in the contest to choose a Democratic nominee to stand against President Donald Trump in November. Officials say election polling sites at schools will remain open, though students have been asked to stay at home until some of the damage is repaired. And that's it on the news update for this hour. Let's take a look at what the weather will look like today.
Today is Wednesday, March 4th, and we are starting with The Punch.
Yes, we are. And The Punch has these headlines. It says here, NCDC boss in isolation after China trip. Reps move to suspend plenary. Presidency screens visitors to Aso Rock workers for coronavirus. Senator warns on failure to quarantine Chinese second-hand clothes. Interesting. COVID-19 death toll rises to 9 in Washington state. Cases now 90,893 globally. Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Ondo assemblies pass Amotekun bill. Ogun schoolboy disappears during break time. I spend $2 million monthly on charity, says Mbaka. And then it also says here, Biamila denies sponsoring mom's Dubai birthday with public funds. I'll wrap it with this one right at the top here. It says, Nigeria remains Africa's biggest economy. South Africa enters recession. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
All right, let's check out The Guardian. How Ihedioha's appeal split Supreme Court. 6 justices dismissed suit to reclaim mandate. We have no power to review any application. And a few other writers on the cover of The Guardian. Coronavirus forces reps to consider vacation. Oh, well. And up here, Senate mulls commission to equitably pick service chiefs. Ogun, Oyo, Oshun, Lagos, Ondo assemblies pass Amotekun bill. And gunmen kill 2 abduct Catholic priest in Kano, Benue. WAEC releases 2020 WASC results for private candidates. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, on the cover of the Vanguard here, on coronavirus latest, NCDC boss Ihedioha sent into 14-day self-isolation. We insisted he must undergo 14-day self-quarantine, says the health minister. Reps to suspend plenary for 2 weeks over coronavirus. Chinese held in Lagos test negative. Index case responding to treatment. 2 users of hotel room after index case traced. 1,811 screened. That's according to the NCDC. It also says here, Dangote donates 200 million naira to fight coronavirus in Nigeria. That's nice of him. It also says Naira depreciates to 366.01 Naira to the dollar in the INE window. At the top of the page here, it says Imo APC jubilates as Supreme Court dashes Ihedioha's hopes, declines to sack Uzodinma. And just above the masthead there, oil prices shake off COVID-19 jitters, rise by 2.4%. That's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
The Daily Sun has the headline, Senate moves to cut president's powers, proposes law on appointment of service chiefs, and Imo, end of road for Ihedioha. Supreme Court dismisses application seeking review of judgment. Cybercrime, FBI visits Magu, hails war on corruption. Amotekun, Southwest assemblies pass bills into law. Coronavirus, reps suspend sitting for 2 weeks. NCDC DG quarantined. WAEC records below 50% success as 32% pass 2020 WASC. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
We have the Nation newspaper here, and it says WHO to trace 103 travelers on flight with Italian victim. Nigeria enlists world body. Coughing Chinese on arrival at Lagos airport tests negative. It also says here Amotekun set for takeoff. Lagos, Ogun, Oshun, Oyo, Ondo houses pass bill. Supreme Court dismisses Ihedioha's review application. And moving to the top of the page here, it says EFCC returns 263 million naira stolen cash to Kwara. Ibadan Yahoo boy caught with mini coffin, 5 others held. And I'll wrap with this one, the Nigerian Stock Exchange to become public quoted company. Equities rally 232 billion naira. That's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
Yeah, well, I think that's about all that we can take on the newspaper headlines for this hour.
Yeah.
A quick break and we'll be back with what the traffic is saying in the city of Lagos.
Welcome back. Now we are about to give tips on the best route to help you get to your destination faster this morning. As always, we encourage that you help other road users by dropping relevant traffic situation reports on all our social media pages using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. This morning, I'm starting my journey from Festac to CMS Central Park. Now, if you're traveling from Festac to CMS Central Park, it will take you approximately 49 minutes. I'm guessing that shouldn't be bad this morning. So we're starting our journey from Road 22. Now, from what I see here, all through Festac Post Office, the MRS filling station, Chicken Republic is free-flowing from this point, all the way to you connect to 2nd Avenue, free-flowing. So if you're around this axis and you're headed to the island, you might want to head out now. 1st Avenue is clear, New Bridge is clear, Festac Link Bridge is clear, Festac Access Road is, oh wow, this is interesting, is clear. Now connecting all the way to Apple Junction, clear. All the way, okay, so my happy moments are beginning to calm down. Okay, now all the way through connecting to Apapa Owoshoki Expressway, the traffic begins to build up. But I mean, if you're around the Festac axis, heading out is clear. So you're going to start experiencing traffic from Apapa Owoshoki Expressway, connecting through, if you're connecting through to the Mile 2 axis, all the way. Now the traffic on the express is not even that bad because from what I see here, it's just going to take for like 7 to 12 minutes, but then it gets better. Now through Lagos Badagry Expressway, it's free flowing at this point. I can see a pocket of traffic here, not sure at what exact point it is, but if you live around the Water Enterprise area or the Mount Zion Church axis, there's a bit of traffic there around the Agric Building Material Market. But after that, it is free flowing, thankfully, all the way through till you get to still on the express. I can see, so it's just bits of traffic here and there, but the traffic now begins to pick up as you approach the onward fisheries at Igomu. I hope I got that right. Now from Igomu connecting to Eco Bridge, there's thick traffic. So if you're around Surulere axis and you're trying to access the Eco Bridge, you are going to experience a lot of traffic. The Ijora axis, Apogbon, Adeniji. Now, as you're coming off Adeniji, the traffic begins to ease up from what I'm seeing here at this point. Around the UBA, that's the Marina axis, traffic eases up. When you're getting close to where the banks are, the headquarters of banks, the traffic thickens up. But it doesn't look so bad. I mean, this traffic is just from the Eco Bridge. Now I'll be moving on to check for other routes, but I hope you and me and Titi have some updates for me.
Yeah, just want to check out a few routes here. Looking at the traffic chief NG at 6:16, that's about 20 minutes ago. Alfred Rewani inward Ihedioha currently good to go. That's about 20 minutes ago, but of course it's going to start building up as you approach 7 a.m. And at 6:22, which is about 12 minutes ago, slow moving traffic currently from Moshalashi inward Mile 2 along Badagry Expressway via the main carriageway. And at 6:27, Mile 2 to Abu Ado is free except for slight movement or slow movement before Alakija Bridge due to bad portion of the road. I think generally the roads are free.
I have one here. Yeah. It says construction ongoing by Bolade inward Oshodi from Ikeja along. All vehicles to use one lane at the moment. Drive slowly. So that's someone helping out about 10 minutes before 6 a.m. If the construction is still ongoing, then it will still affect most traffic going across that particular zone. Yeah, and that's what I have. That's what I have.
Those are the updates we have. So generally in Lagos this morning, traffic is free-flowing. Well, not free-flowing. In major areas, it's moving. You know, so no big impediments along the way, and so that's a good thing.
Yeah, very good thing.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to get my service provider to get me accurate information at this point.
Been there.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm starting off again from Ojudu Bega all the way to CMS Central Park. Today I'm for my mainlanders. Don't worry, I got you all. So this will take you approximately 1 hour, 6 minutes. Yesterday was a bit better, so you might experience some traffic this morning. Now from Ojudu axis, I can see free flowing all the way through River Valley. So if you're coming from the Isheri zone, River Valley, all the way through connecting to the expressway. Now I can see it's free flowing at this point. So if you're around this axis, Ojodu Bega is Sherry, CMD, you might want to head out now because you're not going to experience any traffic up until you get to the MKO Abiola Gardens axis. Now it shows that you should take through the Dr. Nuruddin Olowo way. I hope I got that right. And reconnect to Obafemi Awolowo Way. Just slight traffic at where we have the Justin Coker Estate. Gets better at the Lagos Secretariat. Now after Lagos Secretariat through Obafemi Awolowo still, we have free flowing. If you're around the Agidingbi axis, free flowing at this time. There's little traffic when you're connecting through the Ikeja Electric, that's the Kudirat Abiola Way. Now, if you're following this route, you might understand what I'm talking about. Now, there's traffic at the Kudirat Abiola Way traffic light, which of course is usually expected at this time. Everybody is headed out through Lafarge. So this is taking you through Oregon or Jota. So it's trying to tell you that you should avoid Third Mainland Bridge at this side. So through Oregon Market side, all the way through free flowing till you connect to the express. Now we know that there's a lot of constructions going on around Ojota bus stop, so it's showing that there's thick traffic at that point. Now just after you leave Ojota, as soon as you pass where the constructions are going on, the traffic is free flowing through till you get to Maryland. Now around the Maryland bus stop, there's a lot of traffic there, but right after that it's free flowing. We have slight traffic again just at Bayo Shodik, but that's just close to Anthony, I'm guessing, through Shodex Garden, free flowing. But once you pass Ilukpeju, there's not thick traffic, just a little traffic at that point, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. But all through till you get to where we have the transport companies, Palm Grove, Onikpanu, there's traffic building up. Not sure what's happening, but I'm sure everybody's heading out. Jibowu, Yaba, Surulere, okay. National Stadium connecting to Echo Bridge. Remember I mentioned that Echo Bridge all the way to Marina, there's thick traffic. So if you're around that axis, just exercise patience. There's really nothing we can do but just see through our journey till we get to our destination. I'll be joining Titi and Yomi to know what's up and about in Lagos this morning.
Yeah. It feels like one of those mornings though, you know?
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen on a Wednesday.
I wanted us to touch briefly, I don't know whether I'll have time to talk about any other thing, about the WAEC results that were recently announced.
Okay.
With just about half of the people, of the students that took the exams passed.
Half?
Just about half.
Which not up to half?
Yeah,
okay.
Not up to half, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it feels like the results are getting worse, and also even with JAM as well. I remember, I don't want to say back in my days.
Was that JAM in your days?
Oh wow!
I don't want to say back in my days, but when we wrote JAM in the 90s, we had people who I had friends who were doing.
Really, Tokwe? Really? Yeah.
I couldn't. I tried. Sorry.
Tokwe, one day on this show, we're going to find out your real age.
Yeah.
Because we know that you've been pretending.
Goodness me.
So anyway,
Go ahead.
so when I wrote JAM in the 90s, I had friends who were doing 270, 280, easy. And those were not the brilliant people in class.
Yes, so.
Oh, wow.
These were just regular guys
who
went to JAM lesson, read at home, had the supervision of mommy or daddy or whatever it is. We're getting, just about that. I mean, to get into Unilag at the time, if you wanted law, it was 245. If you didn't get 245, you couldn't read law. I'm not talking about medicine and all those other crazy courses. You get so, and then gradually over the years, over the next 10 years, they kept bringing down the cutoff mark, bringing down the cutoff mark. Now I'm hearing cutoff marks like 180,
which is
over
like
400.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely crazy. 180 over 400 for cutoff marks, and it just keeps getting worse. So the quality of the education, people coming out of school, is becoming worse. The quality of the teachers as well isn't so great. A lot of our best are leaving the country, so that means that or going into other industries. So teaching isn't paying too good. So even after you've invested in yourself, you just want to work in a bank or somewhere else. So that's also affecting the education system. So it's the worst of the worst that are teaching right now.
Yeah, because
that's
teaching.
I was going to say that it's surprising because we have the internet now. where all that information is out there. You can read a lot easier now. You can get access to text, to references, to really important information about your courses from anywhere in the world, in any language right now. You can have access to it a lot easier than before. We used to carry huge textbooks, photocopies of notes, handouts that had been photocopied like 10 times. Like, you don't know who owned the note first because it's been photocopied so many times.
You had to buy like huge textbooks with jam past questions.
Yeah, exactly.
To read, as in you actually had to read those past questions.
Now there are apps with past questions instead.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, imagine, app with past questions instead.
But I think as well, I think the teachers as well have a huge responsibility, because I remember when I was serving before NYC, it was on my bucket list to teach. I really wanted to be a teacher. And it was very weird for a lot of my fellow corps members, because they're like, why do you want to teach? And I'm like, because I just want to. And I think teaching is like maybe the last resort for a lot of people, because when they've tried, they've not got anything. Let me just go and teach. And you see the attitude they have towards it. They're not passionate about it. So they don't even make adequate research enough to empower these children to actually have knowledge enough to even want to go and make further research. So I think they also need to, I don't know, I can't say we should encourage people to be more passionate.
No,
yes,
teachers training colleges are not as full as they used to be. You know, in the end, I can still remember a particular lady put out a broadcast saying she's looking for a teacher. She's a head teacher in a school, and she was like, don't worry, school cert is fine.
Exactly.
And I'm like, if school certificate is fine
for you to be a teacher,
not teachers training course certificate of some sort in whatever course. Even if you were trained in math and you decide to teach English, at least you have teachers training in you.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that anymore.
I heard of schools now that, if they're looking for a Yoruba teacher or a teacher that can teach Igbo. So Igbo teachers are very rare.
Yeah.
That you went to school and you did linguistics and you focused on Igbo. So now all they want is, can you read and write the language? So you don't have to. Now, in the old days, you needed a degree in Yoruba to teach Yoruba. Like you have to have a degree, like a B.Ed, a Bachelor in Education. But now, all you need to do, just be able to read and write Yoruba, and then they will say you are a Yoruba teacher. So that's really what's happening with our education system. And look, until we increase the budgetary allocation to education in our country, like nothing is really going to change in that area, and it's just going to get worse.
Just to round off here, I remember seeing a music concert in a school, and the head of the music department was playing the piano, and he was playing off key.
Oh wow! I thought you were about to say he was
music.
The head of the music department was playing out of tune. Hopefully your day will be in tune with us. Yeah, you like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna be taking a quick break and be back. We'll wake up.
So our very shiny artist this morning is the very first performer we're having on Wake Up Nigeria for today. Now he is Oluwagbemiga Gabriel, popularly known as OJ Brace. He is a singer, songwriter who is a computer science graduate from Olabisi Onabanjo University. He is here to perform his special song with us this morning. So what are you performing for us this morning?
No Retreat.
No Retreat. Tell us a bit about No Retreat.
No Retreat means never settle for less, keep struggling, no surrender. The sky is the starting point.
Okay, I'm going to let you blow us away with No Retreats then.
That's why I keep walking out there.
connect with you. We're dragging through the week in hopes of Friday coming to the rescue is not really the attitude that we exhibit right here on this breakfast show.
That's where we come with the right kind of energy for you to help get you through the early mornings, the early hours actually.
Yeah.
Because once you get past that first few hours, you know, it looks like your day then picks up after
And
that.
even if it hasn't been good so far, it can only get better as we move on with the show. Welcome to a brand new hour of Wake Up Nigeria. We have quite a bit still to come very shortly. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. Now, 1 hour's passed. Remember that we are streaming live right now. tvcentertainment.tv is the website. But you can also check us out on Facebook where we're live as well right now.
Send in those comments as soon as you can. Social media platforms are all there for you to use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVs.
Yeah, we also have our app available for download on the Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us from anywhere you are in the world.
Yeah, very simple. Just have the app on your phone. And joining us this Wednesday edition is Chef Emmanuel. Chef Emmanuel is joining us for, I think, the first time, I believe.
This is the first time, Chef Emmanuel.
Yes, it's my first
No
time.
wonder. Big
Welcome.
spread.
It's his debut. Wow. Now he's
Welcome,
from
Thank you.
Accor Hotel, I believe. Accor Hotels in Imo State, right?
Oh, all the way from
Oh, wow, all the way in Imo
Yeah.
Oh, good to have
That's
you
amazing.
here.
Thank you, man.
And what are you preparing for us this morning?
Coconut chicken curry.
Coconut chicken curry. Woo!
Coconut chicken curry.
Coconut chicken curry.
Good to know that Yomi and Titi are fasting this morning.
Wow.
So don't worry, I'm gonna let you all know how it tastes.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have no idea what she's
If
talking
they,
about.
once they mistakenly put Tokwe in the kitchen, it's like,
Yomi, don't try
Producers,
me.
you know, we need to review that. You know, if there's anything we need to plan or sign, documents we have to sign. For me to be in that kitchen, let's sign it.
now this morning, I want to ask you a question. Did you know that your home styling choice can promote good health? Well, to find out more, Faith Olajumoke of 10 Applause Interiors will be joining us to talk about home makeover tips in this area.
Also joining us shortly for a second musical performance, we have singer and songwriter OJ Brace.
But I still didn't thank you. Don't be saying I'll be
All right, now Omolola Ajijola will be joining us this morning to talk about something that we don't really pay attention to because we can't see it. Gut health, which refers to the balance of microorganisms that live in the digestive tract. Very important.
You need to keep that gut healthy.
On relationship, certified family life coach Oluwatobi will be here to talk about empathy, which is a key ingredient for bliss in marriage and, of course, your relationship as well.
Empathy. Now, we have coming on set today a versatile television presenter, actor, Stephanie Coker. She's going to be joining us right here for a chat. The blog. Yeah.
Stephanie Coker at Derinoku.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So it's Women's Month. We haven't talked about that since the beginning of the week. So
Of course. Yeah.
any plans, events, stuff? Are you guys doing anything?
Well, I've been invited to like 2 different events to come and what's that word? Moderate panels.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hopefully, if Wake Up Nigeria permits us to go. Yeah.
A lot of those events are in the morning, so
yeah, a lot of
it
them
can
are
be
in
pretty-
the morning. But it's impressive the fact that a lot of companies in different fields, even in banking, in oil sector, they're all coming together to sort of create support groups for their female staff and for women, female customers in general. And then, of course, there's all those emails that you get around this time, emailing invitations for different things. And, of course, social media always lights up during this time.
Yeah. So it's good. It's
Women
good.
are doing great things.
Well, I am working on something.
Oh.
Thanks for asking.
He did ask.
Yeah, so the past 2 weeks I've been doing so much about so many plays and so many content around being from the North. And the International Women's Day on Sunday, the theme for this month is the equal.
Yeah.
The equal.
So anyway, we'll talk about that maybe in the
we
third
will talk
hour
about
of the show. We have to go to the news now, though. Ibrahim is on standby.
Welcome to the news again. The coronavirus outbreak outside China is deepening, but the World Health Organization says understanding of the virus is growing. Italy is now the country with the most deaths in the world outside China. Over the past week, Iran's coronavirus cases have increased dramatically. There are now more than 2,300 cases of the virus and 77 deaths are there. In Japan, 17 new cases have been confirmed, bringing the national total to 991 cases. In the U.S., the death toll now stands at nine, while the number of infected persons has risen to 125. The novel coronavirus has killed 3,200 people, the vast majority in mainland China. There are now more than 92,000 global cases with infections in more than 70 countries and territories. As part of efforts to check the spread of coronavirus, the Ministry of Health in Osun State, led by Deputy Chief of Staff to the Governor, Ihedioha, on Tuesday, visited residences and mining sites of Chinese nationals in Ife and Osu to check their health status and travel history. The team confirmed that none of the Chinese nationals traveled outside or come into the state in the last 8 weeks. The Supreme Court held its ground that it will not sit in appeal over its own judgment when it dismissed an application by the PDP and its candidate in the Imo State governorship election, seeking a review of a judgment earlier given by the Apex Court. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress has welcomed the decision, which reaffirmed Hope Uzodinma as the governor of Imo State. Adams
What the Supreme Court has done today for me is just to reaffirm that they are the supreme. They are supreme, and whatever they did last time was on the basis of what was before them. They did not make mistake. There are no gaps. There are no ambiguity, and therefore there was no basis to reapproach them to sit on appeal in their own judgment. And I think they are just being consistent with the position they took.
Prior to and after the conduct of the 2019 general election, there were calls for different quarters for a review of Nigeria's Electoral Act. The 8th National Assembly had made some amendments and forwarded to President Muhammad Buhari, but the bill was vetoed by the president. The Independent National Electoral Commission says that it has begun the review a draft of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which it received from the National Assembly late last year. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this while speaking at the opening of a week-long retreat on the review of the electoral legal framework, where he emphasized that the amended bill will include stringent punishments for election violators. At least 22 persons have been killed, 40 buildings destroyed, and thousands of people are without power after a tornado struck the U.S. city of Nashville. The Emergency Operations Center has already opened an emergency shelter with running water in a farmer's market to help displaced residents. Nashville is the capital of Tennessee, one of the 14 states that are voting in the contest to choose a Democratic nominee to stand against President Donald Trump in November. Officials say election polling sites at schools will remain open, though students have been asked to stay at home until some of the damage is repaired. And that's it on the news update for this time.
Chef Emmanuel, I believe, came all the way from Imo State, and I'm really interested in finding out what he has planned for us this morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, ma.
All right, so you look ready for action. You look ready to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go. Like on your marks, get set. Go. Tell us the ingredients.
Okay.
What do we have here?
I have chicken breast.
Okay.
I have basmati rice.
Okay.
Carrots, green pepper, red pepper, onion, garlic, marrow.
Okay.
And
what's this?
coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
Yeah.
This is very firm for coconut oil. Is it the temperature that's made it this firm?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this, I can see that this is chicken. Is it a special type of chicken?
Yes, yes.
What type of chicken is that?
That's chicken breast.
Okay.
Boneless chicken breast.
Boneless. Okay. So this meal can work with boneless chicken breast.
Yes, ma'am.
What's this?
This coconut cream.
Coconut cream, not just coconut milk, the cream?
Yes, the cream.
Beautiful. All right. I can see some spices here. You want to tell me what's here?
Yeah, this curry.
Yeah?
This curry. And this meat spicy.
mixed spices.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, Chef Emmanuel, you need to show me what you're planning to do first. What's the first thing we do? Just to clarify, the name of your dish is
Coconut chicken curry.
coconut chicken curry. I just wanted to be sure because I knew it had something to do with chicken. I knew it had something to do with curry. I wanted to be sure about that coconut edge. So now I can see that we have to start working on one aspect of the food here. Okay. Are we starting with the chicken?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead. I can see that it's at room temperature. It's not frozen. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And as you can see, he's slicing it up here. Are you looking for a particular size of pieces?
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, go ahead. I can see that one chicken breast is being divided into about 6 pieces there. Yeah, so I know a lot of people on set are wondering if they're going to get a taste of this curry. So you like what you do. I can see you have joy in this, everything. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? What's the most special aspect of what you do? Talk to us. Tell me as you cut the chicken. Talk to me.
Okay. I'm Mr. Emmanuel as a chef. So
Keep going, keep going.
So I love my job very well.
When did you start doing this?
Since 2005.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you learn?
I go to school at I forgot.
You okay? Don't worry about it. We'll talk about where you learned earlier. But a lot of people say they learned from their mom, their dad, some friends who love to cook. I was just interested in finding out where you learned. What's the next thing we need to do?
I started from as a pantry in a hotel.
Oh, okay.
The Boss Garden Hotel at Jawa State.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what are we doing with the chicken now?
Okay.
What do we do?
I need to season the chicken first.
With our spices.
Yes.
All right. And the spices are there for, he's going to be seasoning this. And while he seasons that diced chicken, we're going to be taking a quick break. Wake Up Nigeria is proud to have Chef Emmanuel here in our kitchen for the very first time.
Welcome back. And I want to ask you a question. How can your home styling choice promote good health? You think about it, good health, home styling. Well, Faith Olajumoke Megwara, who is the creative lead at 10 Applause Interiors, is here to give us some tips, what we need to observe when styling our homes to promote good health. Welcome to the show, Faith.
Thank you very much.
I know that, we said this thing, when we were kids, we say cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes.
So, but when you're talking about promoting good health in styling your home, is it just about cleanliness or are there some other things that we should consider?
Of course, there are many other things to consider, but it starts with cleanliness. Well, majorly, it can't be oversaid. The very first thing is to declutter. A lot of us hoard a lot of things and we keep it all around, which would in turn gather germs, different things, diseases and all. So the very first thing is to declutter. And we take off the old stuff, give it out, do anything. Just make sure everywhere is free.
But people have this sentimental attachment to everything. Old books, old shoes, old clothes. My mommy gave me this, grandma gave me that. I wore this when I was 16, things like that. So people don't want to throw stuff away. How do you begin to mentally disengage from these things so that you can get rid of them?
Okay, yeah, true. People like to keep stuff that have memories attached to them. So I won't entirely say you threw everything out. So sometimes what you could do is just find a place for it. Like know that, okay, I have this box where I keep some of these things, but not too much. Just a little bits of piece, the here and there. Just keep a little bit of it. Then the other ones, the other family members that can help you still keep the memory going. You can give it to somebody and then you run into them next and you're like, oh, this is from grandma, this is from auntie. So you can always have them pieces all around. You don't have to hoard everything in your own space.
In your own space, because that usually happens a lot with people, and they just want to, they feel like they're going to need it.
Yes, yes.
I may need it in a year or in 5 years. So the first thing to do is declutter.
Yes.
So get rid of old stuff, or at least get them out of the way.
Yes.
Look for storage for them if you can. Or look, just throw it away. Sometimes you actually don't need it.
Yeah, true. Many times, especially women, we have attachment to that. Many times you keep these things and then you find out that, oh, like 5 years later, you've not even gone there. You did not even realize you still have them. So that's why it's always better to throw them away or give it out. Okay, but if you cannot, you can always find a space for it.
Yeah. So the styling itself now, different areas of the room or of the house, you know, so you have, usually the living room is always perfect because, you know, that's where people visit, but your room can be a mess.
Yes.
Your bedroom can be a mess. So what do you do in the area of decluttering your bedroom or just keeping things clean and healthy?
Okay, so in the bedroom, it is totally against the rule to have anything under your bed frame. There should be totally nothing there. Everywhere should be empty.
So nothing under the bed frame?
Nothing at all. That it has a way of getting back to you, to the way you sleep mentally. It has a way of getting, when something is underneath, it's more or less like it is blocking the air.
It's like a mental block.
Yes, that is supposed to go. So everything off. Then it is important to have everything. That's why we have wardrobes. Everything locked up. When you need it, open it and get it. Then keep it back. Just keep everything in place. You can have a piece of chair here and there, just a tiny piece. Everywhere should be totally free. Your bedroom should even come, I believe your bedroom should be freer than your living room. We don't know that because living room, we have lots of furniture, we have things here and there. But bedroom should be totally free. It helps with sleep.
So it helps with sleep when your bedroom is free, under the bed is clear.
Yeah.
Try and keep things in the wardrobe if you can. Sometimes you just come back, you toss your jacket to one side, the tie to the other. You know, so, but how do you make this like a habit or culture, ensuring that things are always clear? Because sometimes, you know how you say, I'm doing spring cleaning this weekend.
Yes.
And then you clean up everywhere and then it's nice, it smells nice, it's clean, you've decluttered. But 2 weeks later, it looks like you're back to square one. How do you maintain and ensure that you keep this culture going?
All right, so we'll go back to the step where you have to find a home for everything. If you know that, okay, I'd have to keep my jewelry, you get a small space, this is for my jewelry. So mentally, when you're back, you just know I'm going to this space to drop my jewelry. So this is a space for my shoes. When you're back, that's the first place you go to, you keep your shoes. It helps with time. You would move faster with things getting back, and then you would also be able to get them back with ease. If you have to use them again, you know this is where I keep it. When it's moved, you definitely know, oh, I didn't keep it there.
Yeah.
So it is important to have a space for everything. Create a home for everything.
I like all these things that you're saying, and it sounds easy until you live with somebody who starts driving you crazy. So if you, for instance, I hear a lot of women complain about their husbands tossing their singlet on one side, wet towel on the other side, and all of that. What do you do when you live with someone who makes life difficult in that area? You know, you're trying to declutter and they keep cluttering things up. What do you do in that instance?
Okay, yes, I think we all have them. We all have them. So, you know, it's important when you help them see that this is where you can keep this. Okay, I formed an habit, especially with my kids, because they're still little, to make sure that they have everywhere within their reach where they can keep things that they can get access to, things that they use often. So it is important. This is where you would keep some of your stuffs less in the wardrobe, because maybe naturally, since you know how to arrange your stuffs, you can always go and keep them in the wardrobe. You might have to create a room outside the wardrobe for ease of access to that person. So when the person sees that, okay, I can always hang this here, the person can always get back to it, and then with time, practice, then you have to still talk it over with the person. With time, the person will get a hang on it. Yes.
So so have a discussion with the person, try and see, make it easy.
Yes,
make
exactly.
it easier for the person instead of complaining and getting upset.
And then more importantly, I think we all have chairs, piece of furniture in our bedroom where we drop those clothes. It might help to take it out. Yes, remove the furniture.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the kitchen. You know, sometimes again, just like other areas of the house, you have all this old stuff, old plates, all the space that you get from like burials with stickers on them and all of that, and you just pile them up, coolers and things like that. And sometimes when you open a store or a storage area, it just looks like there's too many things and stuff that you haven't used. What do you do with things like that?
Okay, so you could always give it out. You could always give it. A lot of people even do that these days. They re-gift something that's been given to them. So you can always give it out. Many times, it's just, you can declutter by selling it. You could even make money off it by selling it off. You don't have to hoard everything. Sometimes, because the kitchen is a very sensitive area, you shouldn't have a lot of things moving all around. You start having roaches and all of that. So make it free as much as you can. Then you have cabinets, you have wall units that you can have some of these things tossed in. Most important is to lock them up, storage, keep it up, keep it clean. Like you mentioned earlier, you should have time when you have spring cleaning, maybe once in 3 months. Some of all those utensils that you have not used or they are probably passed from generation to generation, take them out, clean them, dry them up. You can always take them back so that when you have functions, you can always go back to it.
I like that. Let's talk about storage options, because I think that's one of the challenges that people have when they think about, because when you say storage, people always think about the store. And sometimes even the store can be full.
Yes.
So storage options for the kitchen, storage options for maybe your bedroom, and then maybe for the house. For some people, they might say, okay, we'll put everything in the BQ because nobody lives there. Okay. But some others, we don't have a BQ. So what are the various storage options that people can consider for clothes and for different things like that?
Okay, I'll start with the bedroom. Bedroom, you have your wardrobe, and then you can have your boxes, maybe 1 or 2. You have storage boxes where you can always toss things in, but it stays locked. So you toss it in, it stays locked. You have storage.
Like a box?
Like a box, yes. You have storage for clothes, which can always be, if you don't have space in your bathroom, you can always have it one side in your room just for your clothes. So you have storage like that are built for specific purposes like that.
For my clothes, I do, I have boxes. I have several boxes that are suitcases that are quite large that you can arrange clothes. Are those okay as well?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Then I go to the kitchen. I think your cabinet should just do in the kitchen. It is important that the kitchen is not overflogged with a lot of junks. So your wall cabinets, your floating shelf, they should just do. If you have need to have some more, or if you need some more, you can make more. If you have room, you can make some more wall units. Let them go off the floor. That's other than the regular kitchen cabinet.
So clearing off the floor, ensure that the floor is clear.
Yes. Then the wall units, you take things up. So that's the storage that is okay. Then you have for your waste, you have waste bin storage. It is important to have waste storage that has a lid, that has a cover. Don't just pick anyone and throw things in.
Because all of these affect the health as well.
Yes, it does.
People keep like large waste bins in the kitchen. Is that appropriate, or should it be outside?
Well, I think it should be outside. But, the thing with running a home is always what works best for you. Some people would argue that because of kids and the amount of things they have to take out, the most important thing is take out your trash every day, small, big, take it out. Make sure it doesn't stay the next night in that same space. So that's important. If you want to have big one, you have room for it, and you can take it out that day, the next day, then that's fine.
So I love this conversation. I like the direction that it's going, and hopefully people are listening and they're saying, okay, so first thing I need to do is declutter. So ensure that I get rid of stuff that I don't need. I like what you said about regifting, because that's also an important thing. Yes. Sometimes you feel like, oh, this has sentimental value, but it's still brand new, so you can give it out.
Yes,
so
true.
That's a big area that people should consider in this day and age. So plates and other things, utensils that people have given to you, you can regift them. So it's okay to do that.
It's okay. It's very okay to do that. You can always give them out, and you are blessing somebody else.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then, of course, in the bedroom, like you said, ensure that you keep things light, and you try and give away old clothes and stuff like that.
True. Try and give it out. It even gives space for you to get more, and then it helps with your laundry too. You don't have to have
I met someone who said that she used to be a size 8. Now she's a size 12, and she's hoping that she can wear her size 8 dresses back sometime in the future? What would you say to such a person?
Story of my life. I tried that. Truth is, when you're about to fit into that age, even when you reduce, your zipper will get loosened, something will happen, accidents. Just to know that by the time you're back to, it's good because that's you're keeping yourself motivated into losing the weight. But when you're there, you will get stuffs for that size at that time. Now that you're not there, like I mentioned earlier, you can even make money off it. People would sell it off and then you gain something from it. So you can, it helps with your weight loss process. You can use it to help yourself.
Exactly. We didn't even talk about, having like a garage sale. So if you don't want to, if you're insisting on not giving away the stuff for free, then you can even sell them.
Yes.
Open a store or something, put them on Instagram and say, look, I'm selling this dress.
Exactly, true. Very true.
That's also a good idea. So ensure that the bedroom is clear. Under the bed, that's one of the things that you said. Make sure that when you go under the bed, it's clean and clear so that you can have a good night's rest and not have all this clutter in the area. Yes. Very, very important. And then you said spring cleaning once every 3 months.
Yes, spring cleaning.
It's one of the things that we should also consider.
Yes.
We didn't talk too much about the living room because, like you said, there's already a lot of things there, but ensure that it's clean as well. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you've told us today. And of course, decluttering, one of the most important things.
Yes, it's also, you could always still have, it's important to have a place that actually still smells nice. So even while after decluttering, you could still have, everything looking like you still have those old stuffs in there. Yeah. So once you're done with your spring cleaning, after decluttering, spring clean, once you're done, have planting here and there so that you can, it changes the air. And then you can have smell, home diffusers, especially the ones that are made from essential oil. They have a way of helping with a healthy environment because they're non-toxic. So that's it.
Wow, Faith, thank you so much for telling us all this. I'm sure that people are making changes this month of March. And we're going to be right back after this.
Welcome back to the kitchen, and I've been having an interesting time with Chef Emmanuel.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You came all the way from Imo to come and teach us how to make the coconut chicken curry. So what's that over there?
So basmati rice.
Basmati rice, and you're obviously boiling it.
Yes,
we could take the cover off for a bit so people can see. Did you add anything to the water?
Just a little bit salt.
Salt?
Yes.
And that's it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that doesn't have much longer to stay on the fire?
Yes.
Okay. We've also seen that you've spiced the chicken. Which of the spices did you use for the chicken today?
Chicken spicy.
Okay.
And a little bit curry sauce.
Curry powder. Okay, fantastic. So what are we doing next? What's the next thing we need to do here?
We need to cut the veg into QQ.
Okay.
And then put the pan for fire.
All right, let's put the pan on the heat now. Are we putting anything in the pan right now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Show us what we're doing. That's the coconut oil he just put into the pan there. I'm not sure if we have our menu list of ingredients on standby for you. If you're wondering what you need, we have chicken here. That's chicken breast deboned. We also have green peppers. We have cucumber. We have red pepper, carrots, garlic, onions, tomato puree.
Yes, ma'am.
What vegetable is this?
This basil leaf.
Basil leaves. Is that vegetable oil?
Yes, ma'am.
And
coconut cream.
Coconut cream. Beautiful. All right, so the coconut oil is in the pan now.
Okay.
And I can see that you've diced your onions and your garlic. So please show us your process.
Okay.
Okay. And we have our garlic going in now. Ooh, I think we need to take that cover off for a little while. Okay, Chef Emmanuel is the first time on Wake Up Nigeria. And So how's the rice? How is it? How's it looking?
It's okay now.
It's okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'll help out with that. Should I strain it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead. So we're going to take the rice off the heat and strain it by the sink here. Woo, let's go. Okay, I got it. Chef Emmanuel.
Yes, ma'am.
The chicken is going into the pan, I believe.
Yes.
All right, show us how you work with your chicken. Okay. All right. Our rice has been strained. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it inside.
Yeah. Aha. So I noted that the chicken wasn't frozen chicken.
Yes, ma'am.
It was room temperature. So what are we waiting to see with this chicken? How do we want it to look before we take it off?
Like in the next 5 minutes now.
Okay.
Should be okay.
To be okay. I like this man of very few words. I really like the way he's working with that chicken. All right, so this looks like a very special cucumber. Am I right? Is this cucumber?
No, marrow.
Marrow. Okay, I was wrong. Okay. All right. I can see that the chicken is already getting there. It's getting there. The spice is enough?
Yes, ma'am.
For those that are just tuning in, ingredients one more time. We have coconut cream, we have basil leaves, we have curry powder, onions, some very beautiful looking green peppers, marrow, carrots, and garlic. In the pan right now we have chicken, spiced chicken with coconut oil, no vegetable oil yet, I have to say.
I've added small.
You've added a little?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. But it smells incredible already. It doesn't
Wow.
smell like
Thank you.
the normal chicken. Because all of us fry chicken now, but I can smell that coconut edge already. Yeah. Okay. So what's going to happen to this tomato puree? What are we going to do with this?
I'll add a little.
Add a little of this to what you have in the pan?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it time yet?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. That's about a tablespoon of tomato puree. I'm used to adding water to my puree, but you didn't do that.
But not the time yet.
It's not time yet?
Yes.
Ah, okay. All right. Now that's completely changed the color of what we're working with here. And suddenly, color changed just with the tomato puree. Nice. I like the fact that you keep tasting the food as you go along. What are you tasting for? For salt? For...
Yes. Yes, for salt.
Okay. I haven't seen any hot pepper here. So this is not a hot pepper meal at all.
I have hot pepper.
You have hot pepper?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll work with that later. But we have to head over to Tokpa. She's standing by with a guest.
Thank you very much, Titi. Please make sure there's hot pepper for our breakfast. Okay, so now we have nutrition this morning, and today we have a certified nutrition health coach, Omolola Ajijola, whose focus is on disease prevention and healing of the body through nutrition. She is here to discuss gut health, which refers to the balance of microorganisms that live in the digestive tract. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Gut health, to be honest, I haven't heard about that. So you have a lot of teaching to do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so now walk us through what gut health is?
Okay, gut health is basically our entire digestive system.
Okay.
And the microbes, that's the microorganisms, the bacteria, the fungi, and all of those things that live there.
Okay.
The focus really is on those organisms because they have an entire ecosystem going on there. It's an entire life going on in there.
Oh, okay.
And there are over 1 trillion of them. Yes, that live on our inside. So we have critters inside of us.
Okay.
Literally, yes. But initially, science always felt that we were born sterile, like there were no bacteria.
Yeah.
But recent research has shown that nobody's born sterile. Like when a woman is pregnant, her body begins to create bacteria for her baby. So as the baby comes out, that baby hits the cecum and and takes up bacteria through the nose, through the mouth, and that bacteria now colonizes the digestive system, and that begins the process of building the immunity of that child.
Okay.
That's the beginning of the bacteria life. Okay. So the moment you start to breastfeed, there is nutrients in the breast milk for the bacteria to feed on, to grow, to thrive. And all of that. And that's one of the reasons why it's important that we breastfeed our children, because breast milk has something called prebiotic, and that's exactly what feeds bacteria.
Okay.
Yes. And when they thrive, they give us good health. That's basically it.
So when they don't thrive, what happens?
So what happens is, it's easy to get bad bacteria. So you touch the table and you mistakenly put your hand in your mouth. You get bad bacteria introduced into your body, and they stay there. And they start to thrive when you start to eat unhealthy food, because that's what feeds them.
Oh, okay.
Healthy food and fermented foods, food that have prebiotics, like tiger nuts, are things that are foods that feed the good bacteria in the digestive system.
Yeah.
But it's easier to get things that feed the bad bacteria, because mainly that's what we eat, unhealthy food. Sugar and all of that, carbs, heavy carbs.
Yeah.
So those are the things that feed the bad bacteria on our inside. So the digestive system, think about it like a tree. Okay, so you have the roots in your the human body.
Yes.
So you have the roots in your digestive system. The root is where everything happens. That's where you get nutrients from. And that now determines what happens in the brain and all of that. So what happens in your digestive system affects your brain, your mood, because hormones are created there. The beautiful thing about the bacteria also is that they create B vitamins.
Okay.
Yes.
The bacteria.
The bacteria, the good bacteria.
bacteria.
Yes.
Okay.
They create B vitamins for us because we don't eat enough of it. And when we have good bacteria, they create. And they also do something called, very interesting, they do something called biological transmutation. They have the ability to change one nutrient into another, depending on what you need. For instance, they can change silica. If you eat stuff like mango or banana, comes with silica. It can change that silica to calcium.
Okay.
Yes. So they do a lot of amazing things that keep us healthy. They help us to maintain our immune system. And so when you hear about things about depression, mood swings, all of these begin in the gut. There's a movement out there now where we're talking about autism and gut health, because you can't separate your gut health from your brain. The things that are happening here affect your brain. One of the beautiful things about good bacteria also is that they are the first line of defense that we have.
Okay.
So when you eat something unhealthy, for instance, there was a research that showed, they did a research about 2 cows. One cow was grass-fed, no antibiotics, and the other cow was grain-fed and had a lot of antibiotics. And then they gave them lead. What happened was that the cow that was grass-fed, no antibiotic, had the lead and was able to pass out from its stool about over 80% of the lead that it took in, because what the bacteria does is that if it can neutralize the poison or whatever it is that you've ingested, it will bind itself and take it out. So it sort of, yes, that's what they do. But the other cow that had all the antibiotic and a lot of grains, they were not eating healthy.
Yeah.
They took in,
but they couldn't bring it out.
over 90% into their bloodstream. So what in nutrition, we say that the digestive system is really the inside of our body. That's the beginning. So we think that this is the outer part of our body.
Yeah.
But the digestive system is actually the first place.
Of the body.
Yes, so when we eat and we don't digest our food properly, they help us to digest food as well. When we eat and we don't digest our food properly, because we don't have good bacteria in our digestive system.
Yeah.
There's so many things. They help us to break down our nutrients so that we can take them up.
Okay.
So if your digestive system is not really in a good state, disease is bound to happen. Because when you have like an imbalance, you know, you're supposed to have a balance that it favors the good bacteria over the bad bacteria. You can't live without bad bacteria.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's not possible.
It's not possible to live without the bad bacteria. You have some of them, but the good bacteria must outweigh the bad bacteria. So when you have...
Sorry, I'm going to have to cut you.
Okay.
But then there's still so much more to learn about bacteria, and we still have you, thankfully, for the rest of the month. So you definitely do not want to miss her segments of the show about good bacteria, bad bacteria, and so much more to learn on your nutrition. About Still Wake Up Nigeria, we're going to a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, so I have a challenge for you. So you mention 2 breakfast shows where you can tune in and find happy people, good music, great food, top-notch celebrity interviews. Just mention 2.
Okay, so 1 is Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah.
And 2 is Wake Up Nigeria.
That is beautiful. Beautiful.
That's the political answer.
Yeah.
But it's also the right answer
look
as
at
well.
that food. Look at that chicken
Wow,
curry.
that's amazing. Oh, that's chicken curry. Oh, man.
Coconut chicken curry.
New chefs are the best on the show because
Yes,
they are so generous. And, you know.
But we have some really great older chefs as well, though. You know, we love you. We love all of you.
Yeah.
The same. But there's quite a lot more for you to see right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, talk about healthy lifestyle tips, relationship advice. Everything you need is right here on the show.
Yeah.
Wake Up Nigeria. There's never a dull moment.
Yeah. Now, this is your #1 family breakfast show. And you're welcome to the 3rd hour. We have quite a lot still coming up in the next 45 minutes. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Imo APC. Get online right now. Stream with us live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
We have a place where we would like to hear from you. Yes, all our social media handles need your comments. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And if you haven't yet, you can download our mobile app, both on the Android and iOS stores. And this app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Soon to come, we have some hilarious...
And Relationship Wednesdays are here. And certified family life coach Oluwatobi will be here to discuss empathy. This is a key ingredient for marriage bliss.
Very key. Then finally, we have versatile television presenter and actor Stephanie Coker joining us for a chat. Yeah, she's ultra stylish as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, wow, it's been a fun show so far. Now, the chef in the kitchen is showing me a few things, man. I'm having, you know, an interesting kitchen.
So, how do you guys
today.
how do you guys make when chicken curry is made? How do you guys make the thing so thick?
Okay, so there are different thickeners that could be used.
Okay.
But most of the time, the curry and the combination of the curry, the chicken stock, it actually thickens on its own unless you add water to it, too much water to it. Then, of course, there is the tomato puree. That's also considered a thickener.
Okay, so you can put that in there as well.
So I know there's puree in there.
To get that curry look, people use coconut milk or what they call this.
A coconut cream is what he's using.
Coconut cream or food. There's the thickener. There's like
you're talking about cornstarch, corn flour?
Not even corn flour. There's something else. I just can't remember the name.
There's so many types.
You put that in.
But right today we're using coconut cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coconut cream.
But it's a different one for me. I've never used coconut cream before.
Really?
Yeah, I've never used coconut cream before. I used to see it on the shelf and I'm like, what did they use this for? Now I know.
Some people even use it when you're making like rice. You get it. There's this. It has this.
What? Gum
rice that face.
What did you guys do for Grandpa's birthday yesterday?
I saw yesterday. My grandpa lives in Abuja.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to go see him,
Yeah.
like surprise him, and then I called and I'm like, so what do you want? And my grandpa likes to be he is modest, but his own is like on a Paul level.
Okay.
So I'm like, so what do you want? And then he's like, oh, just send anything. Don't spend so much, or just send something. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? Like, what do you want? And then in the evening, he calls and he's like, hey, talk, you know that pizza you bought the last time? Like,
wow.
That's what he asked for pizza, and I made an order and they delivered it.
Oh, very
And then
nice,
my brother got so upset, and then he went all scriptural on me and started to say, you took the blessing, and I wanted to.
Wow.
I'm like, well, they called me, they didn't call you.
So you were forming Jacob.
I was
okay.
Yeah, because anyway.
You're going too deep into the scripture for this.
She started the scripture thing.
You're me.
I just
give you scripture. You take a whole chapter. We have to take the news update now. Ibrahim is, as always, standing by.
And welcome to the news again. The coronavirus outbreak outside China is deepening, but the World Health Organization says understanding of the virus is growing. Italy is now the country with the most deaths in the world outside China. Over the past week, Iran's coronavirus cases have increased dramatically. There are now more than 2,300 cases of the virus and 77 deaths there. In Japan, 17 new cases have been confirmed, bringing the national total to 991 cases. In the U.S., the death toll now stands at 9, while the number of infected persons has risen to 125. The novel coronavirus has killed 3,200 people, the vast majority in mainland China. There are now more than 92,000 global cases with infections in more than 70 countries and territories. As part of efforts to check the spread of coronavirus, the Ministry of Health in Osun State, led by Deputy Chief of Staff to the Governor Ihedioha on Tuesday, visited residences and mining sites of Chinese nationals in Ife and Osu to check their health status and travel history. The team confirmed that none of the Chinese nationals traveled outside or come into the state in the last 8 weeks. And the Supreme Court held its ground that it will not sit in appeal over its own judgments when it dismissed an application by the PDP and its candidates in the Imo State governorship election, seeking a review of a judgment earlier given by the Apex Court. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress has welcomed the decision, which reaffirmed Hope Uzodinma as the governor of Imo State. Adams Oshiomhole is still not pleased with the decision of the Apex Court on the Bayelsa governorship election, but has no choice than to accept this fate, respecting the judgment as final. Prior to and after the conduct of the 2019 general election, there were calls for different quarters for a review of Nigeria's Electoral Act. The 8th National Assembly had made some amendments and forwarded to President Muhammadu Buhari, but the bill was vetoed by the president. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has begun the review to review a draft of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which it received from the National Assembly late last year. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this while speaking at the opening of a week-long retreat on the review of the electoral legal framework, where he emphasized that the amended bill will include stringent punishments for election violators. At least 22 persons have been killed, 40 buildings destroyed, and thousands of people are without power after a tornado struck the U.S. city of Nashville. The Emergency Operations Center has already opened an emergency shelter with running water in a farmer's market to help displaced residents. Nashville is the capital of Tennessee, one of 14 states that are voting in the contest to choose the Democratic nominee to stand against President Donald Trump in November. Officials say election polling sites at schools will remain open, though students have been asked to stay at home until some of the damage is repaired. And voters went to the polls in 14 U.S. states and one territory on Tuesday in the largest day of voting in the United States Democratic primary season to choose who they want to run against Trump in November's election. So far, former Vice President Joe Biden leads with victories in 8 of the 14 states that voted, while Bernie Sanders took 3 states. But it was a dismal showing for billionaire Mike Bloomberg and Senator Elizabeth Warren. And that's it on the news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria. Let's bring you
Welcome back. Now, Oluwatobi Olumide Ajayi is a certified family life coach and seasoned entrepreneur who is passionate about marriages and family. And now her passion has led her to set up three-chord couples, premarital and postmarital counseling outfit, where she mentors on marriage and family well-being. She's joining us today to discuss empathy, which is a key ingredient in marriage bliss, which is really, really important, especially in this day and age of social media, so many distractions, lots of pressure on marriages.
You can say that.
Yeah, so empathy is an important thing, which you say is a key ingredient in marriage. But what is empathy?
Okay, thank you. Empathy is being able to put yourself in another person's shoes, like the ability to understand how the other person is feeling or what they are thinking, irrespective of whether you understand it or you agree with it or not. Yeah.
So in simple terms, just feeling what the other person is feeling,
yeah.
something like that, the ability to be able to, I understand your pain, something like
Exactly.
that. So usually what you find in, when you talk about empathy, people always assume it's something that has to do with being sensitive or being understanding. And for the most part, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's usually the woman that says, the man is not as sensitive, or he's not sensitive to my needs, he doesn't understand what I'm saying, something like that. But why, how do we create a balance in a relationship, especially in a marriage, where there's empathy on both sides?
Okay, I think everybody has to learn empathy. So it's not gender-based. It's not for the man, it's not for the woman. It's just a key ingredient. It's not only for marriage, it's for everybody. So empathy makes you feel what the other person is feeling, and then it makes you to be able to step back and think about how to respond as against just reacting. So it's not about the man or the woman. It's something that everybody should have, because empathy will actually make your life easier, make your relationship better. And, you know, there are a lot of things empathy does that I believe that everybody should be able to imbibe that in their day-to-day living.
So if someone, for instance, is trying to be more empathetic, so maybe you've been insensitive and you haven't, you just find out you're tougher than the other person. How do you begin to cultivate this, this feeling of empathy towards your partner?
Okay, you learn it. Every skill can be learned. And once you know what it is and you're conscious of it, so life is all about intentionality. Once you're conscious about it, then you always step back to think before you respond. So you see someone that, okay, let me just give you one or two examples. So this couple were having issues, and then they get to the marriage counselor before they even realize what is happening. So this woman was getting very frustrated with her husband, and as in she's very angry, and then she starts to withdraw sex. Why? Because her husband will go into the bathroom, use the toilet, and not flush. I mean, when he takes a pee, as against, okay, so he believes that it's just when you do number two, that you flush. That was just his mentality. And that was because growing up, you know, I think he grew up in a face me, I slap you house. And water is limited, resources are limited in places like that. So he had not been used to that. So he gets married, I don't know, probably when he was in school or something, if he was doing that. But he gets married, and then the wife is always telling him, how could you do that? Right. And she had been telling him she wasn't seeing anything.
So she was taking out her frustrations on him.
Yes, she was taking out her frustration. Okay, she would nag and do all that. But you know, instead of nagging and shouting and then start to withdraw sex, she could have stepped back to think about why he was doing that. Because, of course, she knows that it's not that this man does not love me. It's not that this man is bad, really. So sometimes you just have to think about why that person is doing whatever they are doing that is upsetting you, or why whatever it is the person is saying. You have to try to understand where the person is coming from. But if you're not practicing empathy, you will not be able to think in that line. You're just thinking about yourself. Empathy is like keeping a laser beam focus on the other person.
On yourself and then...
On the other person.
On the other person.
Yeah, not on yourself. Because if you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your frustrations, how the action is affecting you and all that.
So being less selfish. So how about the situation where some people feel like if I'm demonstrating empathy, I'm allowing the other person to take advantage of me using emotions, because people always feel like that, especially in a relationship, that this person will take advantage of me if I'm too empathetic.
Okay, so there's a balance. It's not as if when you're being empathetic, you lose yourself completely. So there's a balance. You still have to know when the person is being manipulative. And you will know if someone is actually being manipulative, especially in marriages. Your husband or your wife, you know them very well. So you know when they start to become manipulative, and then you try to balance it. But most times in marriage, especially if you already know the kind of person your spouse is, but even then, there's still a reason why the person is acting that way.
The way they're acting,
there's
right.
still a reason. So maybe they are trying to get your attention. They're trying to get something. So you still try to think about why. That's the only time you can help, and you can try to find a solution or try to resolve whatever it is. So the person is trying to maybe take advantage of you. Why is this person like this? Why is this person doing this? Why is this person thinking like this?
So I was wondering what's the first thing that people who are trying to be more empathetic towards their partner, whether it's a husband or a wife, what's the first thing that they should start doing, say from today? Now, listening to you right now, and they say, okay, you know what, I want to be more empathetic.
Okay, so it's part of what I've said. When you want to be more empathetic, the first thing you should do is always think about the why. So someone is reacting in a particular way, someone is doing something, always think about why they are doing it. Always put yourself in the person's shoes. That's empathy. You're putting yourself in the person's shoes. So you're thinking, what if this is me? What if I am the one in this situation? How would I react to that person? Because when you empathize, then you're able to show mercy. You're able to give grace. That's what empathy does. So you always step back and put yourself in the person's shoes and say, what if I am the one? Why is this person acting this way? Then that way you flipped it. You flipped it over, and it's easy to show ourselves mercy. So when you put yourself in the person's shoes, you'll be able to.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure people are listening now and they're making a decision that, okay, so I'm going to be more empathetic and understanding towards my partner. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now we're going to be...
All right, welcome back. Now, this is an exciting part of the show. We've been joined by a versatile TV presenter, on-air personality, actor, and so much more.
Yes, Stephanie Coker. Now, she has starred in a couple of movies and popular TV series Tinsel as Feke. She is currently a co-host of The Voice Nigeria.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So now you need to tell us a lot more about this new project you've embarked on. And of course, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hello, mommy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're so crazy. So what I'm working on now is actually opening up and talking about my journey, my conception story, and also my pregnancy experience. Because you know, when people are pregnant, they shy away from the camera, or they just go into like some type of, not hiding, but
It was hiding.
It is hiding, right? Yeah, but people don't really know what goes on, and when that happens, other people don't get to really know what to expect. You know what to expect when expecting. So I decided, okay, why don't I, first of all, talk about my conception, and then also show a bit about like what happened during my pregnancy and a bit about my labor story as well.
Right.
So that's what I've done.
Okay, so I have to take, let's backtrack.
Yes.
So we're still Nigerians. Nigerians have this thing about keeping, all those
private.
things private.
Yeah.
And of course, you're married to quite an influential family right now. did they have any issues with you coming out with all this information?
No, but you know, I think the most important person is my husband, so
Okay.
it's my partner, and I think my mum was a bit more like no, like she literally said no, and I said I don't understand. She's like, no, like nobody asked you, why would you now?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like it will help other people, number one, and I was given this platform for a reason, you know. It's not just to be like a celebrity. I feel like we're also, you know, able to help others and enlighten other people in any way that we can, especially educating people on things that could happen to them as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided, you know what, people always talk and people are going to have their opinion, but I think it's important for me to do this. And especially because I'm so private, like I really don't talk about my personal life. I decided this would be a good avenue to start.
Okay. So I wanted to talk the trailer of of the show. You said people feel like they know so much about you, but they don't know like up to 1%. They feel like they know 100%. So now tell us, apart from the pregnancy, give us like a sneak peek. Tell us something about you that people do not know.
Oh, there's so much.
There's so much, eh?
Yeah, I think, okay, if I'm really honest, I think like, for example, when there's something going on in my household, like maybe my husband had an issue at the time. I think people thought I was like out partying or going to work, but they didn't really understand, like before anything happened, I was already out. I was already at work. So it's almost, and they don't know that my husband is one of those people that don't like to dwell on situations. So he doesn't want you sitting at home moping. He will get upset if you do that. So he wants you to be out. So I was like, I don't want to go out, but I'm already out and I'm already at work. Like, and the next day I had to go again. He's like, no, keep going. Like, because there's nothing wrong. You know, the media they blow things out of proportion sometimes. And you can't really start narrating what's really going on because they will always find a way to dissect it and tell you, no, you're lying or this. So I just stay quiet.
Now, as a media personality, talking about them finding a way to dissect things. Now, did you feel like you were somewhat under some kind of pressure to actually explain, or this is what is going on?
No, not really, because I think it's important for the people that love you and know you to understand what's going on first, and then it's really about you dealing with the situation internally. I mean, as I said, I don't know, maybe if something happens, God forbid, like if something happens again, maybe I'll be more inclined, but I just don't see the point, because you just prolong the story if you keep answering and explaining, and people just keep telling you, no, you're not, that's not right, that you've missed the part in the story, you know, they really will rip it apart. So I'm just like, and I know the truth, so it's like, okay.
Okay,
whatever.
I wanted to touch on, you know, the fact that yes, you're a mom now.
Yes.
So, and you're a media mom. So before now you had some very risque dresses, outfits you used to wear. You know, you were always all out. You were always on red carpets, etc., etc. Do you think this is going to change? Is there anything about your personality that's going to change now that you're a mom?
You know what? No, I don't think so, because nothing has actually changed apart from the responsibility. You know, I can't get up and just go. I was very much accustomed to doing that. But in terms of dressing, I don't think anything is going to change. I mean, I do have a couple of stretch mark friends, which I might want to, you know, keep hidden. But apart from that, no, not really. I think, you know, when you have a child, it's just you become a newer version of yourself. I don't think you have to change who you are. A better version, especially. But yeah, I don't think anything, just apart from the responsibility and just making sure that I do things that my daughter will be proud of. So maybe I'll probably think twice before making certain decisions that could possibly affect her in the future. I think that's very important. Because I'm not living for myself and just my husband and my mom and everybody. Somebody is really looking up to me.
And how did you? Sorry, it's so much. I do a lot of research. So now you talked about being a mom at 31. Now, while you were turning 30, did you feel like the normal Nigerian pressure of, okay, there are no kids yet. What do I have to do?
You know what? I think it's more like I had a plan for my life.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. A lot of women, a lot of people plan themselves. Like, okay, by this time I want to be married. By this time I want to have a baby. So I kind of like did do that. But then when I realized, okay, you know what? We are actually going to have to do something to make this happen. I kind of did want to be pregnant at a certain time. Like I remember I wanted to be pregnant in December and then give birth in August. My husband's birthday is in August. So I planned it, but it didn't go to plan. She ended up actually being born close to my birthday. So we're like 10 days apart, 11 days apart.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did feel pressure in the sense that I think I put pressure on myself.
Okay.
I didn't have pressure from my in-laws because they're quite chilled, cool. Like I know people talk about their mother-in-laws, like, but like my mother-in-law is literally like my mom, like my grandma. Like she's so amazing. Like I really love her. Yeah. Okay. And my mom was more like, you know, I don't know. She's more like excited about having a child than rather putting pressure. Yeah. But I did put a lot of pressure on myself, but just because I kept saying I want this by 30, I want that by 31. So I was like, this is not the plan. Like, where is the baby? It needs to come now. So I think it was more of me, and then also social media.
Yeah.
I think that was probably where I got the most pressure because you'll post a picture and people will be like, oh look, see, she looks pregnant. I'm not pregnant. And how do you know I'm not trying? But they're like, oh, see, she's just walking up and down Beverly Hills, enjoying her life. She doesn't want to have a baby, and they don't know people are actually trying. Like I don't have to show you that I'm on a sick bed or I'm, you know, doing certain things for you to realize that I am actively trying to have a child. And that's why I decided to talk about the conception story.
So, and this story, I have a feeling is going to be an interesting one because she's such a talker.
Yeah,
I can imagine how the videos are. But we did talk earlier about the food in the kitchen.
Yes, we did.
And you're excited about that one?
I am. So I love food. I'm on a small diet, but
don't worry.
Postpartum diet, but I think I can let this.
You can slide for today.
Yeah, stroll. Let's go to the kitchen. It's great to have you in the studio with us. Please go.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, right there. I got you.
That's your seat. This smells and looks
Please have a seat over here.
Oh, so am I doing the tasting on everybody, on behalf of everybody?
Yes,
okay,
you are.
Great.
You are.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I was hanging out with Chef Emmanuel today, and he made
Coconut chicken curry.
Coconut chicken curry. Nice. He came all the way from Imo State to make this down for us.
Looks good.
So the process was really quite interesting. You want to tell us a bit about some of the things you added to this?
Okay. I have a chicken, boneless chicken.
Yeah.
A carrot, green pepper, red pepper, marrow. Yeah.
Put everything together and
special
just
ingredients, coconut cream.
Oh,
coconut cream. Okay.
Yes. So go ahead and have a taste.
Let's dig in.
Yeah, where are you going to dig in from?
Do I have to share with you later?
No. Just go ahead and have a taste.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
Okay. Let's try this. Oh.
Thank you so much, Chef.
Well done, Chef. Great job. Great job. It
really
looks
nice.
really good.
Thank you.
This is really good.
You like it?
Yeah. I'm glad. You said I don't have to share, right?
No, Ala. It's all yours. Now, as she digs in, we have to say a big thank you to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
Yes, indeed. And to all our guests for joining us on the show today. And well done, Chef. Good job.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie, for stepping by.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck with the vlog.
Yes, thank you.
All right then.
Yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. as usual. Don't forget.
Yeah, join us. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.